and welcome back to the channel, everyone in the XRP community. I just want to start this video off by thanking all my new subscribers and everybody that checked out my previous video. If you're new to the channel or XRP in fact, then why not consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest XRP news. Bullish things going on within Ripple and XRP. Ripple have responded to the SEC with quote unquote the answer, as the document is called. I wanted to jump in instead of going through that whole legal document. I wanted to share with you the internal note that was shared by Stuart Alderoty, the general counsel at Ripple, to the employees there. And so make sure you stick around until the end of the video to get the full details on what is actually going on. Okay, let's jump straight into this. Here's the note I sent to Ripple employees today regarding Ripple's preliminary legal response to the SEC complaint. So he goes on to say, "Hi Ripple team, since the SEC filed its complaint at the end of December, its side of the story has been the only one shared publicly. Our initial response was finally filed today. The answer is a legal document filed publicly, which, as the name suggests, is our official answer to the allegations in the SEC complaint. Although it does not fully outline our strategy, more to come as it plays out in court, it's our first opportunity to start to set the record straight. Although the legal process is slow, we are working to get this resolved as quickly as possible to bring clarity to the broader market. Moving quickly is important because, as you know, since the SEC filed its complaint, XRP lost almost half of its market value, causing retail holders of XRP with no connection to Ripple, the very people the SEC purports to protect, to suffer billions of dollars of losses. What's more, part of the SEC's mission is to maintain orderly markets, and yet their overreach created havoc in the market. I couldn't agree more. That's all they did. They caused absolute carnage with this lawsuit. What were they actually thinking about when they filed it? That's something for another video. We did cover it before. What were Jay Clayton's motives and the SEC? But it's something that's going to come to light within time. The answer is a long legal document, but I'll summarize the main points below. It looks similar to the summary of our Wells submission, which some of you have probably read. XRP is not an investment contract. We've been saying it and saying it and saying it until we're blue in the face. But let's see what Stuart Alderoty's got to say. The only question in this case is a technical one: whether or not Ripple's limited distribution of XRP were an investment contract. To be clear, there are no allegations of fraud, misrepresentation, etc. While we've seen some Twitter commentators suggest that this is a non-fraud/fraud case, a first-year law student can tell you there is no such thing. It's misleading and irresponsible, not to mention silly, to even suggest otherwise. Turning to what matters. In our answer, we explain there is no investment contract. Number one, XRP is a virtual currency and thus outside the SEC's legal jurisdiction. Number two, Ripple never entered a contract for an investment with any holders of XRP. I can vouch for that myself. Number three, Ripple never held an ICO, never offered future tokens to raise money, and has absolutely no relationship with the vast majority of XRP holders. Number four, holding XRP does not mean a person receives a portion of Ripple's revenue of profit. It sounds stupid to spell these points out, but these are the absolute ridiculous claims that the SEC are making. When you put it down on paper, when you read through these things, everybody understands these things as common knowledge. Ripple have to go into details to respond to this ridiculous claim. Number five, Ripple's XRP sales amounted far less than 1% of the massive XRP market that has grown over the last 8 years. Number six, the XRP ledger on which XRP actually moves is completely decentralized. The SEC ignores the economic reality of an XRP transaction. Number seven, Ripple XRP holders do not create an investment contract any more than De Beers holders convert diamonds into securities. The SEC is out of step domestically and globally. Before the case, no security regulator in the world has claimed that transactions in XRP must also be registered as securities, and correctly so. The functionality and liquidity of XRP are wholly incompatible with security regulation. Requiring XRP registration as a security would impair its main utility. In fact, regulators in the US government, the Department of Justice and FinCEN determined in 2015 and 2020 that XRP is a virtual currency and has since regulated it as such. Basically, it's on its way out. The Trump administration sought to undo the determination that XRP was a virtual currency made during the Obama administration. Globally, the same is true of regulators. The UK's Financial Conduct Authority and regulators in Singapore and Japan have concluded XRP is a virtual currency or crypto asset and not a security. With the complaint, the SEC is asking the court to contradict the findings of the agency's peers in the US and worldwide. Absolutely. They're asking them to look back and go back on something that's already been determined. The SEC is picking winners and losers. Although XRP is the most efficient digital asset for global payments, benefiting customers around the world, and is the most environmentally sustainable crypto, I have to 100% agree on that. We'll get into another video about Bitcoin's usage and the effect that that has on the environment due to energy production. That's another video that I've got in the pipeline, so stay tuned for that. There is no principal distinction between XRP's current function and that of Bitcoin or Ethereum. How does the SEC explain telling the public that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities, then turning around and alleging the opposite is true for XRP? And this is what I was talking about earlier. What's particularly interesting here is that at one point the SEC claimed that Ethereum might have been born a security, but eventually evolved into a non-security, offering no guidance or framework for this determination or evolution. We're just asking for the rules to be stated clearly and for those rules to be applied consistently across the board. We sent a Freedom of Information request to the SEC asking for more information about how the determination was made in hopes of gaining more clarity on how they came into initial conclusion about ETH. And I have to 100% agree. They've asked for those documents. I think they've filed up to $60. It's ridiculous to facilitate those documents being put together. There are various ways that the SEC can get around that. There's a few caveats that they can bring into place over not disclosing that information, but I'm sure it's very likely that they will have to. And it's going to be really, really interesting to see how they've determined that and what the actual reasons are behind that. So as soon as I've got anything on that whatsoever, I'm going to be doing another video on it to shed some light on that for you. Furthermore, XRP is a great deal more environmentally friendly than Bitcoin and Ethereum, considering it avoids the mining process. The power needed to mine and validate Bitcoin transaction leaves an enormous carbon footprint compared to the modest amount of energy consumed by XRP transactions. That must matter from a policy perspective. Absolutely. I think a report a couple of years ago said that Bitcoin transactions yearly were using the same power consumption of Switzerland. And I'm sure that's grown even further now. And that for me, and the Bitcoin maxis are going to get onto me about this, but I'll go on the record and say that is the main reason why Bitcoin is not sustainable in a carbon zero future that we are moving into. How can you justify the power consumption that's grown year on year? It's going to take far too long for Moore's Law to catch up to the mining process in order to make that energy consumption negligible. And I can't see it happening. I can't see it happening before there's irreparable damage done to the environment through this wild goose chase on mining Bitcoin. The SEC has distorted the facts. The complaint filed by the SEC is full of cherry-picked quotes taken out of context and draws conclusions that are unsupported by both the facts and the law. Through our response, we start to clarify the record. While we can't get into all of the specifics in the format that will happen as the case progresses, you will see we denied many of the SEC's allegations. In time, you will see why. I'll share a quote from one of our outside counsels with his evaluation of the case. I think this summarizes the situation quite well. The SEC's case is unprecedented and ill-conceived. The SEC has ignored XRP's clear status as a virtual currency, contradicting not only the findings of other US regulatory agencies, but also international regulatory regimes. Over the last 8 years, the XRP market, independent of Ripple's activities, has grown to a massive scale, trading over 200 exchanges worldwide. The SEC is now stretching the concept of an investment contract beyond its breaking point. We look forward to presenting our case in court. Andrew Cessny, Devoir and Plimpton. I would like to thank Team Legal for all their hard work on this. On behalf of Brad, recognize the broader Ripple team for staying focused on executing against our vision while we take this case to the courts. Best, Stu. Absolutely amazing. And there's things in here now that make this a winner takes all. We are going to the absolute wire with this. And as we've stated previously, this will mean regulatory clarity for XRP, for Ripple, and the entire crypto industry, because Bitcoin and Ethereum have been pulled into this now. It's going to open a whole can of worms, and they never expected this. They thought it was going to be a short, open and shut, slap on the wrist, maybe a huge fine. And Ripple are like, no, we've been asking you for years for regulatory clarity, and this is the best opportunity we've had to get it. So if you want to file this lawsuit, you want to make these allegations, you better be prepared to come up against Ripple's 21 strong legal team, the best in the business. And we're going to see where this goes, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to be here for every minute. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything on this. And I'm going to try my best to get the news out as soon as it drops. So let's move on and let's take a look at XRP's price today. Very, very bullish, and it could be in light of what happened yesterday, as I covered in the previous video, the new Ripple partners coming in. And it is going to be a combination of that and Ripple filing their response, the answer. There's a whole community behind this. There's various Telegram groups going on at the moment. Pump XRP on the 1st of February. If you want to join it, you can search that one. And it's not just about that. The utility and time is what's going to progress XRP. We're going to see a massive boost after we get this clarity that we deserve as XRP holders. And once that happens, we're going to the stratosphere. We're going to the absolute stratosphere with this. Not financial advice, as always. Do your own research and just make sure you make the right decision that's going to benefit yourself and your family in these troubled financial times. I'm going to leave you guys today with a tweet by Mr. Garlinghouse. He dropped this one yesterday just after the answer was made public, and I thought it summed everything up really well. Our defense begins today. Innovation is on trial, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with our partners and the community to defend it. Together, with appropriate regulatory oversight, we can modernize outdated laws that clearly aren't working to protect consumers and ensure orderly markets. And that is the clarity that we're going to gain from this lawsuit as well. New regulatory framework needs to be implemented, and in my opinion, will be implemented. So thank you so much for checking out the video today. If you've taken any information from it whatsoever, then consider hitting the subscribe button to stay up to date on everything XRP Ripple as we move into this lawsuit in February. I'll catch you again here soon.